Now that you have a solid understanding of control structures, let's move on to loop structures. What is loop? Loop allows us to repeat a set of instructions multiple times, making them perfect for automating repetitive tasks. One popular loop structure is the for loop. What is the for loop? The for loop is a widely used loop structure in Excel VBA. It allows you to specify the number of repetitions and increments through a range of values. This is particularly used when you need to perform an action a fixed number of times. Remember the example we did when we used a VBA code to split those worksheets into separate files. We used the for each loop in our procedure. So the for loop is a widely used loop structure in Excel VBA. It can be used in different ways. The for each loop that we use in that VBA procedure to split Excel worksheet into separate files is a type of for loop. I have also used the for loop in other lessons. If you have been following me, you can go back and check to really understand the use of the for loop. Now, in this lesson, I want to just show you how you can also use the for loop or the for each loop to protect worksheet in Excel. So this is our Excel worksheet, and normally if you want to protect your worksheet in Excel, you can just do it the normal way, which is this one here. You right click, you go to protect sheet, then you input a password. Let's just say 2356. Then you click OK, and you are asked to repeat the password again, which is 2356. Then you click OK. Automatically your worksheet will be locked. Okay, you can see we have logged this worksheet. If we try to input anything into this worksheet, it will give this prompt, which means the worksheet is protected. So you can't do anything unless you enter the password. So we can use VBA to also do this same thing. So this one is free because we didn't lock it. So you can lock each of them as you want. You protect sheet, you put the password there. You can put different password for the different worksheet. Now let me show you how you can use VBA code to lock this theory sheet with just one password. And if you observe, when I enter this worksheet in particular, this ribbon tab, you can see none of them are active here because they've been locked. But if you go to the next sheet, you can see that they are all active. You can see it showing here, and next one the same thing. But if you go back to this one here, you can see we can't do anything. So we have to unprotect it, which is you right click, go to unprotect, enter the password again, then the sheet will be unprotected. You can see the sheet is not free. So you can use the for loop to lock your worksheet in Excel instead of using the normal way I just showed you. So let's go to developer tab and go to our Visual Basic Editor. Alright, so I already have the code here. You can this is my code, but I have not activated it. That is why it is free. So let me explain it for you. This is how you can write the code. Now this is the title of the procedure, then dim ws as worksheet, and I want to lock each worksheet. So for each worksheet in this workbook, which is the one that the VBA is affecting, dot sheet. Remember, dot sheet stands for all the worksheet in the workbook. Now this is how you protect a worksheet. You just say worksheet, which is ws dot protect. So if you want to protect the entire workbook, you can say this workbook dot protect. So you get it. So worksheet dot protect, then the password, you just take the password here. Now this is an integer, so you don't use the double quote. If I was to use letter, I will have to use the double quote, like do something like this. So I just type amen, then I also close double quote if you want to do that. But I prefer to use integer, which is 2356. Our password is our password, and use the next. The next means it goes to the next sheet and the next sheet and the next sheet until it gets to the last sheet, then it ends the sub. Remember, this is a for loop. Remember, we are looping. It is repeating the same task for other worksheets. So that is the next. So this is the for each, and this is the next, which is also a type of the for loop. So for each, we have the for each, and we have for next. These are also types of loop. So I'm just teaching you how you can use them in different ways. So this is the for each. I'm very sure you understand. I explained this. So let's just run our code. Okay, now just click on this and okay, it's done. Let's now go back to our worksheet here. Let's go to the home. That tells us if it's locked. Okay, you can see they are all locked. All right, so let's start from 2020. Let me try to input something. Okay, you can see that. Let's go to the next one. You can see the same thing. To the next one, you can see the same thing. So the three worksheets are locked by one code. So to unlock it, that person needs to enter the password, which is just go to unprotect. The password is 2356. Hit the enter button. This opens this particular worksheet. You can see right now it is free. I can type something inside. All right, the next one, the same thing. You have to enter the password. So this is how you can use VBA code or for loop in particular to lock the worksheet in Excel. Now if you want this thing to work, let's assume you want to save it as locked. All you need to do is to save the new change. Now to enable your worksheet to be saved as a macro workbook, you can't use the normal Control S. What you need to do is to go to File, then you go to Save As. Okay, you can see right now, you see Excel macro enabled workbook. If you don't choose that extension, it won't work. Normally it's always Excel workbook, or you just go to this CSV part, but you have to enable that workbook. So you have to pick the extension Excel macro enabled. This way, any changes you make in your worksheet and you save that worksheet, it follows. But if you don't do that, it won't save as an Excel macro enabled workbook. In case you are trying to follow me and it is not working for you, maybe you saved the file but it did not save as you want it, make sure you save it as an Excel macro enabled workbook. That way, if we close this file and send it as an email to someone, the person needs to get that password to be able to alter the data in the worksheet. You get it? So once again, this is the code. Very easy, just simple and straightforward. This is how you can lock Excel worksheet using VBA code and using the for each loop or the for loop.